This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name is Joni Rametta, and I am joined by my co-host Mark Clark today.
Good morning, Joni. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
It is an awesome Wednesday.
It is.
Hump day.
I hate that.
That's some incredible marketing, though, isn't it?
It is incredible because everybody talks about it, isn't it?
I know. I can see the camel
now. As soon
now.
as you say that, that's exactly what I was just going to say. As soon as you said that, I see the camel walking through the room. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, today we're going to be discussing retirement. Are we ready?
Retirement on hump day.
On hump day.
I love it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What does that mean? What does are you ready mean? Because we're not there yet, right?
Are you talking about ready to talk about it, or are you talking about ready to retire?
Both. I'm ready to talk about retirement because I want to play more golf. No, not really. Yes, I do want to play more golf.
Yes, you do.
But what am I going to do in retirement? But first and foremost, we got to get there, right?
We do.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
And I think and a lot of the things that we see in our industry, talking to people and reading some of the industry material we get, we're finding that people are not saving as much for retirement as they need to. And a lot of people aren't really ready financially for retirement. But the problem is they don't think about it or talk about it until they're about to retire.
Yeah, they always... I had a teacher, I think it was in second grade, and she made us a circle and put the words "to it" in it. So she gave us a round to it, and that stuck with me since second grade, which has been a long time ago. And people don't do things that they say, well, we'll get around to it later.
Right.
And the challenge is the clock keeps on ticking, and we always say, yeah, I'm going to do something about it later, and tomorrow never comes. It sounds like a country song. But still, you got to take action today, and I think that's really some of the things we're going to talk about.
I think a lot of people too think that they have to do a lot of stuff to do it, and you don't have to start out big. You can start out small.
Exactly.
I mean, you start out with the first thing that I recommend is that people take advantage of the retirement plans they have at work.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. I got a question for you. One of the things we talked about this morning before we were getting ready to come on the radio was who are we? We're going to talk about retirement planning, but who are Joni and Mark, and why would anybody want to come talk to us? I mean, there's thousands of financial people. What makes us a little different, other than we're both great looking people and we're a lot of fun and all the other stuff? But why would people want to come talk to us?
Well, we both grew up here.
We did.
Went to different high schools, though, so actually competing high schools.
Yeah. I won't talk about which high school I went to in Manatee County. That was always... Everybody wanted to play Bayshore High School for homecoming because they could whoop us back in the 80s.
Isn't that funny what you remember about your high school experiences?
Yeah, it is. Going back to, time flies. It seems like yesterday, but that's the fact. So, yes, we grew up here.
We grew up here.
We've been here forever.
We've been working together for a couple of years now, actually working together in the same office now. Both of us have probably, I have 30, you have 32 years of experience in this industry, different levels, doing different things. I sort of grew up in the industry and started in the back office and moved my way out to where I have my own desk and my own office now. We're both certified financial planners. Which was
a fun test.
That was not fun.
No, it wasn't. But certified financial planner is a trademark. It is an exam. It is a whole. It's really a 2 years, almost like a master's program.
Yeah.
So it's an accolade or credentials that say at least we did the homework to know what we're talking about. But at the end
and we continue to do that homework because a lot of these certifications and a lot of these licenses that we have to do the businesses that we do, we've had for a long period of time, but there's continuing education that goes with it. So we have to stay up on the different topics and the different things that change, just like your accountant.
Right.
is a CPA, but they still have to do their continuing ed so that they stay up with the tax laws and things like that. So
yeah, I think one of the differences with the CPA and the CFP, or the financial services designations, are I think a lot of times, just to put it bluntly, people believe that we use those just so we can sell them something. But the cool thing about the way we're structured, we're a fee-based registered investment advisor. We're registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. We are a fee-based planner. We don't sell anything. We really are a trusted advisor for our clients, and we're in an environment where we don't have to sell anything. That's not the way we get paid. We get paid for managing money, doing financial planning, and we're on the same side of the table as the client. And that I love. That's not where I have always been. I don't believe that's where you've always been all our career. But at this point, it's a lot of fun because we really are a client advocate, and our goal is to build a trusted relationship.
Because we're both people.
Yes, we love people.
We like people.
We love fun people.
Right. And we like the relationship that we have. I mean, lots of our clients are, trusted people in our lives, friends, family, and even strangers that are now, we would call friends. Right. So, we're here to help you do what you want to do in your life. It's not my life, it's your life. It's not my money, it's your money. But we're here to sort of be your coach, be your mentor. We've talked about that in a couple of shows too, about coaching and mentoring. That's sort of the, a good fit for what we do is coaching and mentoring once we know what you want to do. Tiger
Woods has not that he's big on the golf circuit, but everybody knows his name. Or, he's probably having a tough year, but nonetheless, he still has coaches. He still practices. Right. You take a look at any professional athlete, and they're at the pinnacle of their game or their industry, if you will, and they still have coaches. So we love coaching. We like to work with people. There's no one way to do anything. And what we found is people have different passions. And I think one of the things that you and I are both very passionate about is finding out what people's passions are. I know we're talking about retirement plans today, but finding what their passion is and helping them achieve that passion, and retirement plans has a big part to play in that. But
absolutely.
And I know we're going to run out of time here in this first segment. So, how do people find us? And we've got some workshops and things we're going to put together and have available. I know it's summertime, but how do people where are we located?
We're located at 6230 University Parkway, Suite 305, which is basically at the corner of I-75 and University Parkway. You can find us at Journeys with Joni, that's JONI.com. You can call us at 941-361-1484. We would love to have a conversation with anybody that's interested in talking about their journey, where they want to go, what they want to do.
And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the process that we have in the office.
Right. And we'll talk about retirement plans.
Focusing on retirement plans.
Right. Because I think at the end of the journey, we'd like to retire and leave a legacy. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Just before the break, Mark and I were having a discussion about, we were discussing who we are and why we do what we do, which is helping people plan. We're talking about retirement planning specifically today, but we're really interested in the relationship with our clients and helping them plan life in general, because life is a journey. And
yes, it is.
We all know where we want to go, but do we have somebody along the way that's coaching and mentoring us and helping us stay on track to do that? Because, we both need somebody to mentor and keep us doing what we need to be doing.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs somebody to keep you in check.
Yeah, and life changes, as we
daily.
Know. I got a granddaughter coming in the next couple of weeks. So
yeah, you're going to want some time off, aren't you?
No. Talk about blink and, grandchildren start showing up. It's just amazing. And, talking about coaching, you watch as your kids become adults and are well into adulthood, they need coaching, and you see the old, I'm sharing the words my father shared or my father-in-law shared.
Yeah,
and,
I am now becoming my mother.
Yeah, it's
or
kinda,
my father. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of scary. And the other component of, really today's conversation is you have a whole industry of laws and rules and regs and things that change financially. And I think sometimes it just becomes overwhelming. And too many times people don't go get the coach because it costs money, or they think it costs money. Well,
or a lot of money.
Or a lot. And I think sometimes people, you got to remember, you get what you pay for. And if you pay for nothing, you get nothing.
Right.
Not that we come with a big price tag, but we are fee-based financial planners. We do manage money. But talking about retirement plans, I think it's important that you embrace somewhere, somehow in your financial life, some component of retirement savings. And there are some different ways to do that. The industry is horrible about our industry is horrible about using terms and not defining them. And then people like us tend to talk about the term like people listening know everything about it.
Exactly.
And so that's why my lovely wife always backs up and says, okay, now explain that in English, please, for the rest of us. And that's it. So you have retirement plans. And how many times, Joni, have we heard people say, I have one of those, what are you invested in? And people go, well, I have an IRA that I'm invested in. Well, an IRA is an account. That's a type of an account, and you can have all kind of investments
within the IRA.
Correct. And the IRA gives us, maybe you could explain to people what an IRA, or let's change the word to a qualified. What does the term qualified account mean? I think that's something our listeners would appreciate knowing.
Well, I think, qualified means that there's some kind of a tax deferral to it. In some cases, you're putting money into a vehicle, a qualified plan, that you're not paying taxes on that money going into it.
Right.
You can also have those qualified plans where, when the money comes out, it's taxable, but you're putting it in pre-tax today to let it grow to come out at some future point. Hopefully, as you're older, maybe your income tax bracket will be less.
Right. That's the hope, and that's the plan. So recap that just for a second. If you have an IRA or a 401k at work that you're putting money into, you're getting a tax deduction today, but you're not avoiding the tax. You're deferring the tax
Correct.
To a later point in time where you're hoping that the taxation on the money coming out is going to be less. But we don't know that.
No, we don't know that at all.
And because there are a couple factors that go into that calculation, and that is, what are the tax rates going to be in the future? I'm not going there. People, that gets into
and none of us have a crystal ball anyway. So
we don't. It gets into a potential political discussion, argument, whatever you want to call it. But, tax rates are probably going to be different than they are today. That's number one. And then what is your income or your earning, your tax bracket when you are retired? Mm-hmm. If you have become financially successful, or you have a situation, I've had a client where all of his money in his retirement years was in qualified accounts. So that means he deferred every penny that he was living on. It was a deferred dollar, and now every bit of cash flow he was spending in retirement
was taxable.
Right. And his comment was, well, how did I get here? And I said, well, did you have anybody like me you were working with back in the day? And he said, no, I sure didn't. I was just at my job. They had a retirement plan and a profit sharing plan. I kept my head down and I just, charged the hill. Mm-hmm. And that was a result of having no coaching. And today we have another option that you may have in your retirement plan at work, or you have this option outside, because everybody says, well, if I put money in, I can defer a tax today. I get a deduction today. That's the best thing for me. That may not be correct. So the other side of the option for retirement savings would be a Roth.
Right. They have a Roth IRA.
What is that?
Or a Roth 401k. That's where the money going into it is taxed. So when the money comes out at a later date, it's not taxed. I mean, at some point in time, the IRS is going to hand you a tax bill. So you either pay it now or you pay it later. And
we have the ability in our office to run some examples. So let's talk about that for the next minute or so before we get into the last segment of our show today. But if I have a $100 bill and I put it into a Roth account, that means I've already paid taxes on that $100.
Correct.
But in my Roth account, my $100 is going to grow. I can invest it and I can grow it. And let's just get crazy for a second. I've grown my $100 to $1 million. That's probably not possible, but let's have some fun. Everybody wants to win the lottery. So I put that $100 in my Roth and I grow it to $1 million. And now I'm 59 and a half or older and I start taking money out. What happens to the money I take out?
You just put it in your checking account because you don't have to pay taxes on it.
Man, I love that.
That is nice.
Let's invert it really quick. I have $100 that I haven't paid taxes on, and I put the $100 in my 401k or my IRA, and that same calculation. I got $100, but I saved probably $20 or $30 in taxes because I got a current deduction for it.
Right.
All right. So I saved $20 or $30. It grew to $1 million, but I didn't pay any taxes on the growth as it was growing. But when I take the money out,
you'll be paying taxes.
I'm going to be paying taxes on whatever I take out. It's going to be at my regular or normal income tax rate. So that kind of talks to the different types of accounts that are available. That's kind of a macro overview. There are some other options or some variances of the accounts.
But the bottom line is, you have to start saving at some point for your retirement in order to draw it out. Whether you save the taxes now or later, you need to start planning now for later.
And one of the things I want to talk about when we come back from a break, so throw our numbers out here, is there is a little bit of a guarantee out there for some of you that I want to talk about when we come back from the break. And I've even got Joni stumped on this one. So, Joni, how do they get a hold of us? You
can get a hold of us at www.journeyswithjoni.com or call us at 941-361-1484. Journeys with Joni. We'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. Just before the break, Mark and I were talking about retirement plans, and we're talking about qualified plans. We're talking about the plans where you put money in today that's not taxed and it comes out later taxed, or the inverse where it's not taxed now and comes out later not taxed. At some point, the IRS is going to want a little piece of your...
Got to pay the piper.
Always got to pay the piper. But it matters when you pay the piper. And you can even, actually, a lot of people do both, where you put money in where it goes in today that, I've paid taxes on, and then I've got some money that I put in the Roth account that I didn't pay taxes on. So there's a combination. It's not an either or. It can be an and.
Right.
But if you missed any part of our conversation, you can go to journeyswithjoni.com. There's actually a link that you can go listen to previous shows. So if you're sitting here going, oh, what did they say about that? You can always go back and do the replay, which I think is really good, because sometimes you can't write down as fast as everything that you wanted, or you're not sure what you heard.
Especially while you're driving.
Yeah. But, journeyswithjoni.com will give you that information, or you can give us a call at 941-361-1484. Just before we left, my eyes got as big as silver dollars because Mark said something about, there is something that is guaranteed. In our industry, we really don't use that guaranteed word. So
I got the eye roll when I used the guaranteed word.
Yeah, you did get the eye roll. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Okay, so
what's the guarantee, Mark?
Here is the guarantee. There is a guarantee that many of you have that could give you 100% return on your contribution, and that is taking advantage of the employer's match. Many employers match your contributions.
They do.
And if you're leaving money on the table, that's a freebie. That's not a dollar that you, shall we say, are deferring a tax dollar on, because you wouldn't get it anyway. If you made no contribution to your retirement plan and you have a match, you would never get that dollar anyway, period. You would never have an opportunity to defer tax or pay tax. The employer keeps it. So if you take advantage of that match, we would love to help you figure out the perfect formula for you. That's what we do. We thrive on this stuff. We're kind of crazy. But if you're not taking full advantage of the match, you are leaving money on the table. Freebies.
Well, it's a benefit. So, when an employer is looking at you and they're saying, I'm paying you, $10 an hour, I'm giving you health insurance, I'm matching your 401k up to a certain level, and you don't take advantage of all, if you don't enroll in the health benefits, then that's a benefit they don't have to pay for, but it's part of your package.
Right.
If you don't make contributions to that 401k, you don't get that match. If you don't get that match, it's gone forever. And it's a yearly match. So if you didn't do it last year, that's okay. Do it this year.
Yeah, oftentimes.
But you don't want to not do it next year.
Absolutely. And oftentimes that match sounds or looks like they will match 1% of your payroll if you put in 2% of your payroll. So that's a guaranteed 50% return. So if you put in $1, they're going to match 50% or 50 cents.
And over time,
that's huge.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people, stay at a place of employment for 10 years. If you're giving up 10 years worth of them matching part of whatever you're contributing to your 401k, you've left a lot of money on the table. Not only did they not put it in, it didn't have an opportunity to grow over that period of time. So the lost benefit to you at your retirement could be pretty big.
Absolutely. And I just want to take a left turn just for a quick second. And this is the one point where I would talk to any employers that are listening or people that are listening to the show today that have the ability to influence their employer. We've talked earlier in the show that we're fee-based registered investment advisors. We don't sell products. We have a full turnkey 401k package that's available to employers that has no insurance company or wrapper around it. A lot of the 401k world, the retirement plan world, is provided by insurance companies, which can have fees and costs that you don't necessarily understand or see. And in the fee-based world, those plans really don't exist, and we have that. And it's really a cool opportunity because, last week on our show, we had Mark Pearson, the Chief Investment Officer of Nepsis Capital Management. We have that advanced money management opportunity inside a retirement plan, and you're not stuck in, and we could go on for a whole nother show with this. I'm very passionate about this. I know you are too, Joni. You're not stuck in this boilerplate stuff that is just riddled throughout the retirement plan environment. So when you combine the opportunity to have a true investment-based retirement plan focused around helping the employees that make a difference every day in our companies that we own and the people that we're serving next to, in my opinion, it's a great opportunity where we can talk about and help them with making an impact because it's such a need at retirement. Because you do blink, and the next thing you know, man, I've missed 10 years. And we all know, we've talked before about the cost of procrastination and the cost of waiting. So nothing like the present time to sit down, take a look at what your options are, look at what your match is. Do I have a Roth opportunity? All these questions are the coaching opportunities that we love to work with people on, and we have a blast doing it.
Well, and I think that anybody listening that's already, possibly late in life and has already started their retirement or is in retirement, you have friends and you have perhaps family members that are just starting out and that are doing those kind of things. I mean, I have a son who's now decided to start working, and he started working, and I'm like, what are your benefits where you're working?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a 401k? If you don't have a 401k for a period of time, we opened up a Roth IRA for him. I said, you're starting to save now. You're 19 years old. If you start to save now and you save a little bit now, you won't have to save as much later. So, that's the benefit of, my experience of not saving enough.
And we have a lot of tools that we can use in the office to help you understand. We'll take our time. We'll go slow. But, I just encourage people, if you don't come see Joni and myself, go see somebody, get some help. But you don't know what you don't know, and until you can sit down and take a look, I took a golf lesson once. I need more. But I learned more in that 30 minutes than I have ever learned in a lifetime of playing the game.
And I think if you come in and sit down with us, you will learn something. So thank you for sharing your time with us today. We hope that you learned something new. If you missed any portion of this show and you want to get any more information about it, you can go to Journeys with Joni, that's JONI.com, where you can find a replay of our shows, our workshop dates, or you can even send us an email and read our quarterly updates. Journeys with Joni will be back next week. Until then, thanks for listening.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.